my side, so I just play with Arthur on 58th Street. So I think what I want to touch on is, at this point, Arthur wasn't the. I didn't know that Arthur was a genius. Now there's all kinds of geniuses. He wasn't a. Well, I wouldn't say he wasn't a creative genius. Like there's Coltrane genius, there's Jocko genius who totally rewrite their instrument, rewrite music, and there's Arthur genius that had a giant aptitude.
Oh yeah,
for information.
Yeah,
and like no human being I've ever seen. Like no, and I'm 55 now. I've seen a lot of musicians. I have never seen this, and it was a work ethic. But I used to say, when I met Arthur, he was 21, playing saxophone at that level, plus playing whatever else he did, which I'll get into in a second. There was no way that an average person at 21 years old, if you practice 18 hours a day since the age of 3, you would get that good.
He had a gift. He had a gift. Not only did he have a gift, but he also pursued it.
Yeah, that's a combination
with a fever.
Right.
You know? At a fever pitch.
Yeah,
so there's no doubt about the combination.
Yeah.
The combination of those two made the Arthur that we know.
Well, Arthur hidden.
Yeah.
Grew up in a bad way.
Yeah.
That's a whole. Well, I don't want to get into that yet, but I also don't want. We want to keep this interview on a positive note. And Arthur, there's a lot of negatives if you ask around about Arthur.
Oh yeah.
And with you and with me.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on the fact that my negatives with Arthur were huge. The reason I want to say this on camera is when you talk about somebody who's not here anymore, and I've had funerals in my family, I've been to funerals. You have to dress up stuff. Leave out this and put this in. And I want to tell you something that Arthur did. My negatives with Arthur were so huge, it was hard for me to even. I mean, we kind of made good at the end there, but it was so negative that I was written up in an article last year where they kind of mentioned it. And I was upset about it because I didn't want to mention it.
Yeah.
But the positive is so overwhelming. And if God came to me and said, okay, with all the pain that Arthur caused you, would you want to write that out of your life? Would you wish you never met him? No.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a really good way.
All that happened, believe me, a lot happened.
Yeah.
He has left a mark on me. Okay?
Yeah.
There is not a lot of days that go by without Arthur. And you too.
Yeah, same here.
Never met anybody like him. I am so lucky to have met someone like that.
I would truly say that he's, in my opinion, for me anyway, this is just my own personal, he's the greatest musician I've met in my lifetime.
Yeah, I would say him, and I played with Bill Frisell. And I played with Bill Frisell when he was in Berkeley in class, and he was great then. And Bill is now, won the Downbeat poll, #1 guitar player. I played with Bill and Arthur together at the same jam.
Wow.
And Bill didn't like, Arthur didn't like anybody except Arthur. He didn't like Bill. Arthur wasn't about subtlety,
Yeah.
I go, man, you really how great he is, Arthur? And Arthur was, we'll see this, that, I'm Arthur Rhames, And so Bill gave me a ride home in his Beatles and Plug, and it was the Lower East Side. I go, well, Bill, what do you think? What do you think about Arthur? He goes, he did this exact word. He goes, it was overwhelming. I've never seen anyone play guitar like that. Have you ever heard that exact sentence? I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone play guitar like that. Because on tenor, he was coming out of train. Piano, McCoy.
Yeah.
But on guitar, those confluences came together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Bill said that. So I would say Bill, because Bill kind of rewrote the instrument. And I would say Arthur. Those are the two. They were completely different geniuses. And Bill being a genius in the true sense of the word. Those were the geniuses. I said there was two. Bill and definitely Arthur. But I played a lot. I played a lot more with Arthur than I did with Bill. With Arthur, I said that just that huge impact. So there was a point where, to me, Arthur was just kind of really talented alto player, and I started kind of chasing him down because it was getting cold, and it was like at November. I still wanted to go out and play, and I went to the Hare Krishna temple, and at this point, Arthur was into it. He knew the Bhagavad Gita. He was trying to get me to eat there all the time. He was could recite anything, and he was always into a very religious guy. Started from his grandmother, being he knew all the hymns.
Yeah, his grandmother was.
And that religiosity transferred into that was how he connected with training. And that came out when he was playing. When he came on his knees.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't know if you ever saw them, later on gigs. It was theatrical too, but Arthur would, right before solo, he'd go like this. Bow and go like this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see guys actually do that.
Yeah.
So it was actually because he was religious, and it was almost setting up as, well, you got to be good doing that, And he was, he kind of lifted the bar for himself doing that.
Yeah.
So, but at this point, I knew Arthur was just really, so I started going down to the Hare Krishna temple and, getting them to come out and play. I did a couple times, but it was starting to get cold. And Arthur was very sensitive to cold. He wasn't the type to wear gloves in his hands. There's an old picture I have somewhere, I'm trying to find it. But that's the Lincoln Center with Arthur wearing gloves. He was very unhappy with the cold. He hated the cold.
Yeah.
He didn't like New York.
Yeah.
He wanted to save enough money to go visit his grandmother in Georgia. He hated cold.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what I want to get to where I start finding out, or how did you? We were talking how we found out that he did. Like when you met him, did you know that he played saxophone?
No, I didn't know at that time.
Did you know that he played piano?
No, I kind of later found out because there was a point when we used to play over at Adrian's house. Adrian lived right down the block from me. And I found out that he played piano because Adrian's father was a piano player. And that's how Adrian got his start musically. Adrian had been playing professionally with his father from the age of 9. So we would be in Adrian's...
What's his father's name?
George Grandin. Yeah. So we would be in the basement and Arthur would start playing piano around that time. He played a little piano at that time.
Oh, but he wasn't that good?
Oh no, he was pretty much always. He had facility on the instrument.
He did.
Yeah. Well, I think the great thing about Arthur, which made him so special musically in general, was his knowledge of the music, his ability to really assemble and disassemble the music. I think he had a great harmonic sense of music.
Because, bro, let me tell you something. By the time I heard him play piano, that was like maybe the best version of Mr. PC I've ever heard.
Oh yeah.
So how old was he when you met him?
I met him at 16.
Oh, okay. So I met him at 21. So maybe
I
have no concept of him not being anything but smoking. And I mean smoking. I
met him at 16. It was, and we used to do Hendrix tunes. We used to do
Hendrix tunes.
Yeah, we used to do Johnny Winter.
That's what he was into. He wasn't into
stuff. Yeah,
that was his main.
Roy
first
Buchanan,
guy.
Johnny Winter.
Roy Buchanan.
Yeah, Roy Buchanan too.
Yeah, I wasn't into Hendrix.
Yeah.
Even though when you saw him, you kind of saw that kind of Hendrix.
Yeah, no, we did a couple of little Hendrixian type pieces and stuff like that. Yeah. But we listened to a lot of that type of music.
He loved Johnny Winter.
Back then, yeah. And
there was an article in Guitar World magazine.
Yeah.
Where it's called New Talents. Arthur Rhames talked about this.
Yeah, I think they gave him a whole 2
pages.
Yeah.
And he talked about Johnny Winter, about how he wanted to pick, and that was his idol.
Yeah.
But when I saw Arthur, I just knew him as this really kind of up and coming jazz talent, and I really liked him. So one day we were playing we were playing Impressions on 83rd and Broadway. We played the Upper West Side a lot. Right?
Yeah.
And Bobby Watson came by. Do you know Bobby Watson?
No.
Bobby Watson played with Art Blakey. Bobby Watson's a name alto player. At that time, he was really on the New York scene in the mid-70s, playing with Blakey for years, with the David Shinner band. And Bobby Watson's like one of the big friends. So Bobby Watson came by, and he seemed to know Arthur. And he's going like, he's standing there for like a long 10 minutes, 15 minutes watching us play. And he comes up and they talk and they embrace, and he leaves. And I go, oh, Arthur, how you know Bobby Watson? We played a gig. Well, we played a gig together at the Village Gate. I goes, 2 altos? No, I was playing piano. Piano?
Yeah.
You played piano, good to play a gig with Bobby Watson at the Village Gate? He goes, yeah, I was just copping chords for the most part. I didn't get too many solos.